All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 12:45. I know I originally had this scheduled at 1 o'clock, but I had a feeling I was going to be able to get home early. So, let's go ahead and get started with today's chapter of One Piece. I'm excited, because I also noticed that we are apparently going on break. So, there's got to be something in this chapter that's going to warrant a break. I thought the last chapter we got of One Piece would warrant a break, but apparently not, because this one's going on break. So it makes me wonder just how big this one is. So let's go ahead and get started. I am knocking stuff over on my desk. I need to clean it. My apologies. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. We had a lot of stuff happening in the last chapter of One Piece, including finding out that the Stussy we know is in fact the first successful clone that Mads ever made of Buckingham Stussy, aka Miss Buckin, aka the mother of Edward Weevil and self-proclaimed lover of Whitebeard, who also turns out to be a former member of the Rocks Pirates. And she basically just one-shot Kaku and has her eyes set on Lucci, as Lucci's wondering, what in the 9 realms is going on right here? So now we get to see what happens after Stussy reveals herself to Lucci. Like, she's got like bat wings on her back. We don't know if she's a vampire or a succubus or whatever. We're about to find out. So let's go ahead and get started with this chapter. Cohagen, Ravi, Neil Johnson, good to see all of you. Let's get started with today's chapter. Chapter 1073, Miss Buckingham Stussy. And right here we have Germa Double Six's An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 29. I was trying to make heads or tails of what I was looking at. Volume 29, winner of the Mobile Peace Prize for GP Flowers that bloom out of gunpowder. So, to everyone's utter shock, Vegapunk wins a not like Nobel Peace Prize, a Mobile Peace Prize for GP Flowers, aka gunpowder flowers. So, Vegapunk pretty much made gunpowder that just basically turns into flowers when shot. And you see both Queen, Caesar, and Judge just looking at Vegapunk weirdly as he's like accepting this prize. And back then he started to get a little bit older, but his head was, still massively big. I got this on 1-page panel turning. I didn't have it that way last time, but I got it on 1-page panel turning. So now we have the Labo phase, and then everything, and you just have a da-doom. And then you have Kaku, who's knocked out, with Lucci going, Kaku, I can't wrap my head around this. And Stussy is just standing there smiling, and then Lucci tries to zoom in and hit her with the finger pistol, and Stussy basically just teleports around him. He hits an after image. Paper art. After image. And then it cuts to Stussy, who says, so when you don't understand something, your first move is to kill it? Like, oh! And then it cuts to Lucci, who's all like, what? And then Stussy opens up like a lipstick container and goes, oh, Lucci, you're such a wildcat. What? Sea Prism Stone? Because the lipstick that Stussy has is tipped in Kairoseki, and she jabs it. She just taps it on Lucci, and Lucci instantly loses his strength because he's a devil fruit user. The lipstick is Kairoseki. That explains why Kaku immediately lost. Her lipstick is Kairoseki itself. So if she bites a devil fruit user, they instantly lose their strength. Oh no! Oh, Lucci, you're such a wildcat. Sea Prism Stone? And then Stussy opens her mouth and you see sharp teeth. Sharp incisors. Like like she's a vampire, and she just chomps down on Lucci's neck while she presses the lipstick against him. And Hattori is going, Goro! And then Lucci, you dirty. I'm not stupid enough to fight fair against men as powerful as you two. And she one-shot Kaku and Lucci. Oh my god! She one-shot! I gotta open up my window because I need something else to distract me right now. Stussy just ran up and one-shot Kaku and Lucci. What? Kaku and Lucci, who have both awakened devil fruits and are so much more powerful than they were before the time skip. Stussy just came in and just like, nom nom, night night, just took them both out. And he just falls to the ground. I'm not stupid enough to fight fair against men as powerful as you two. And Lucci just falls over. But you'll forgive me, won't you? And then it cuts to Zoro, who's standing in front of Stussy while Brook is looking on. What? I say, what's going on over there? Why is CP0 fighting CP0? And then Zoro's just standing there. Are you in fighting? And then it cuts to Stussy, who's speaking on the Den Mushi as she goes, This is Stussy. The other two are asleep now.
Ah, wonderful news. Stussy solved that problem for us. York, wake up!
So the person Vegapunk was speaking to saying like, yes, everything is ready, it was Stussy. Stussy's working with Vegapunk. Stussy's working with Vegapunk.
Ah, wonderful news.
Oh, wait, that's Pythagoras. Oh, wonderful news. Stussy solved that problem for us. York, wake up! And York is just asleep with a big old massive belly full of food. And then it cuts to Usopp.
So what the heck does this mean?
And then it cuts to Nami.
She took Rob Lucci down.
And then Shaka. He couldn't have seen that coming. She's been on our side for over 2 decades of undercover work.
What? Stussy has been...
What do you mean for over 2 decades of undercover work? Stussy has been in Cypherpole for 20 years. Vegapunk had a mole in the world government's utmost intelligence agency. Vegapunk has had Stussy in there feeding him information the entire time for 20 years. At least the clone, but for 20 years, Stussy has been in there. And no one's been the wiser! He couldn't have seen that coming. She's been on our side for over 2 decades of undercover work. And then you have everyone up going,
You had a spy in the top secret intelligence agency?
Not by design, but that's how it ended up. And then everyone is just surprised to hear this news. Then we cut to Stussy.
But we have a problem, Doctor. Lucci and I are on the same authority level. I can't override the orders he gave the Seraphim. There's no way to stop them.
Because we still have S-Bear, S-Shark, S-Hawk, and S-Snake who are still steadily trying to destroy the lab from the outside. And then it cuts to Edison.
You did enough, Stussy. We're on our way now.
As it cuts to Edison and Lilith heading over as Snake, Seraphim Hancock preparing to blast it. And then it cuts to Zoro and Brook. If we don't stop those kids, they're going to bring that building down on top of our crew. Indeed, but tell me, don't they seem familiar to you? And then it cuts to S-Bear and S-Shark preparing to attack the lab. As Zoro goes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Especially one guy in particular. I wonder if he's talking about seeing the child Mihawk. I wonder if he's talking about that. Hold on, I gotta click this. Okay, there we go. And then it cuts to Lilith and Edison as they make their way outside. Lilith,
darn it, they totally ruined the lab. Though I guess it does make it easier to get out now.
And then Lilith's outside.
Yes, freedom. Hey, Seraphim.
And then S-Hawk stares at Lilith and prepares to swing his sword at her. And then it cuts to how his eyes look like crosshairs zooming in on Lilith going as he's beeping, and she goes, huh? And then we have someone grabbing both of their swords as he clashes with Seraphim Mihawk. Zoro clashes with Mini Mihawk. Now that I get a better look at you, you're actually a little more human than him. So who are you? As Zoro clashes with Child Mihawk. And then it cuts to both Lilith and Edison, who are outside.
That gave me quite a scare. I'll handle this. Seraphim, stop fighting now!
And then, as he jumps up in front of what appears to be shooting at Lilith, it almost looks like Edison jumps up in the path of the blast, or he gets shot. No, S-Shark aims his blast as he's trying to say, Seraphim, stop fighting now, and it looks like Edison gets hit. And Lilith screams out, Edison!
Did he get...
And then it cuts to Sanji, who has apparently saved Edison. Sanji is there with Zoro. Huh? You mean him?
That was close!
Edison! And then Lilith is standing there, eyes running and nose running because she thought she lost Edison. Then it cuts back to Zoro and the rest of them. As Zoro is standing in front of all the Seraphim. And the Seraphim must stop too. What are these things? Someone explain. And then it cuts back to Stussy.
I've placed Sea Prism Stone on Lucci and Kaku, Shaka.
Thank you, Stussy. We're going to escape the island. Come with us. Wow, so Lucci and Kaku are basically out of commission right now. Lucci and Kaku have basically been put out of commission single-handedly by Stussy, or at least Stussy's clone. Thank you, Stussy. We're going to escape the island. Come with us.
Understood.
Hey, you just added more to the total.
Then it cuts to Lucci. Bonnie, where'd you go? Old Man Punk, we can't leave on the ship without you. And then we have narration. But an incident had occurred. Old man! Dr. Vegapunk's Stella was nowhere to be found. Oh crap! Oh, we're at Sphinx! Oh no! Sphinx? We're at Sphinx. This is Whitebeard's home. This is where Marco is. Sphinx, New World, hometown of Whitebeard the pirate. And then we got children.
Hey, Marco! You should have seen it. It was really scary. Not me. I was scared.
And then it cuts to other children.
The Navy came marching into the town and pushed us around.
And then Marco. I'm really sorry to hear about that, kids. That must have been quite a fright.
It's not your fault, Marco. Those Navy guys were real jerks. They said they were gonna confiscate Whitebeard's treasure like a bunch of pirates.
And it cuts to some Navy individuals who show up going, behave yourselves and no one has to get hurt.
This country is unaffiliated with the world government. The law doesn't protect you here.
And it's with some really weird looking Marines. They don't look like Marines at all. They look like pirates who took some Marine clothes.
We know Whitebeard left a vast treasure here. If you don't tell us where it is, that's grounds for execution. If we shoot you one at a time, will it help you remember?
And this guy is holding a gun at a child. This would definitely be edited out of the 4Kids dub if it still existed. And the kid is crying.
There's no such thing here! Don't point your gun at my brother!
And then it cuts to an old woman going,
so you won't even treat us like human beings unless we pay tribute to the government? You're a pack of monsters! You really want to talk to me like that when Marco isn't around to protect you? Grab her!
And then it cuts to some Navy dudes. I want to say Navy dudes. They don't seem like Navy unless, It's just very really evil guys who decided to join the Navy so they can do whatever they want. I'll just say, the Navy dudes grab the old woman.
Stop it! Put me down right now! Grandma!
Stop it! She's just an old woman! Grandma! And then there's some thudding sounds as this dude is taking aim with his rifle at this old lady. There's a thudding sound as the dude goes, huh? And then we get him. We haven't seen him since the Shichibukai was abolished from the reverie. And they said that they were going to bring him in. And his mother said, like, go ahead and kill all the Marines who are coming after us. Who do we have that comes in and saves the people of Sphinx from these Marines? With his extra wide white mustache and extra large Bacento? Leave my Dallas hometown alone! It's Edward Weevil! And all the Marines who got hit by Everett Weevil are sent flying into the far-off mountainscape on the outskirts of the city. That's, remember, they said that his strength is comparable to a young Whitebeard. This dude sent all of them flying.
Captain Rattle!
Huh? Edward! Weevil! And all of the Marines just take off running. I thought they sent battleships after him when the warlords were disbanded.
We can't get in touch with that entire squadron. They're all down. His strength is just that monstrous.
And then it cuts to people going after Weevil. Back to the ship! Wait for reinforcements! This is Sphinx. Former warlord Weevil is here, requesting backup! And then it cuts back to the present, because this is stuff that happened in the past, like a little while ago. And then it cuts to one of the kids going,
if that big guy didn't show up, this village would have been done for!
Then he's a hero. I'm glad everyone's alright, Dayoi. I'm glad everyone's alright, Dayoi. I'm not gonna say it like that. He's a hero. I'm glad everyone's alright, Dayoi. Dayoi. Everyone's alright, Dayoi. Everyone's alright, Dayoi. No, it's not. It doesn't work in English. Mugiwara Dayoi. Japanese, yes, but not in English. Then he's a hero. I'm glad everyone's alright.
But it doesn't end there, Marco! Who do you think came after that?
And it has an old lady, Bakken. Old lady Bucken, who's standing there on the outskirts as Marco's talking to the kids.
Admiral!
Oh. This is her speaking.
But it doesn't end there, Marco. Who do you think came after that? Admiral Ryokugyu showed up, and all our efforts were in vain. He took my Weevil away. Get my son back! And while you're at it, hand over the estate of Whitebeard Newgate.
Former Rocks Pirate self-styled scientist, Mads Freeloader, Miss Buckingham Stussy. Mads Freeloader? Mads Freeloader? Former Rocks Pirate self-styled scientist. Mads Freeloader, Miss Buckingham Stussy.
Weevil!
Mama! As apparently Weevil got taken by Ryokugyu. Ryokugyu came in and just took Weevil. Just how strong is Ryokugyu to bring in Weevil? Remember, his strength is comparable to a young Whitebeard. And Whitebeard was crazy strong. But Ryokugyu showed up and just was like, hey, stop causing trouble here on Sphinx Island. I'm taking you in. Akainu will be happy that I brought you in. Like, what?
Weevil!
Mama!
Sent to prison for protecting his own father's village! My poor sweet brave boy! My son with Newgate!
And then, my thing is, Buckins keeps making it extra keeps going the extra mile to always remind people that, hey, I had a son with Whitebeard, even though it is very, very sketchy at best. Well, I'm really grateful to him for saving the village, I can tell you that much.
You don't believe that Whitebeard and Weevil are really related, do you, Marco? Well, I know just the person who can prove it to you, and that's Dr. Vegapunk!
And then it cuts to the outskirts. As we get to the marine ships. Ah, Kizaru, here's something to eat with the tea. I trust you had this tested for poison first. Of course, sir! I'll take it to him. Oh, wait. Ah, Kizaru, here's something to eat with the tea. I trust you had this tested for poison first. Of course, sir! I'll take it to him. You may go now. Yes, sir! Because we have a marine ship and we have a world government ship. Just out of curiosity, have you ever met Vegapunk before? I have. Just once, a long time ago. But I must say that I find this turn of events to be most regrettable. We get a name. We one of the Gorosei has traveled with Kizaru. I've never in the history of this series have we ever seen the Gorosei anywhere but their main room and kneeling before him. One of them has traveled with Kizaru to Egghead. One of the Gorosei is there. Just how serious is this situation? I need to sit down. I'm getting loud, but I need to sit down. Just once, a long time ago. But I must say I find this turn of events to be most regrettable. 5 elders, highest authority in the world. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. That name is so sick. Oh my God, that name is sick. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. And here's the thing. It's the Gorosei that's got like the big dreadlocks and he always wears the hat. And he's the one who's always sitting down, hunched over. He's the one that's got like the big dreadlocks and the big mustache and the big beard. Always having his hands like this all the time. He's never seen anywhere else in this position other than this position all the time. Saint J. Garcia Saturn is just there chilling with Kizaru. And we see Kizaru's face. Yo! And that's the end of the chapter. What? Ravi, remember, for 5 months. I'm just now seeing that. Other 4 Garcia must be Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. That name is so fire. It is. Wow. Oh, and Neil Johnson for 10 months. Totally, Ravi. Gorosei, our sailor scouts confirmed. Ooh, wow. Neil, you've been a member for 10 months and Ravi for 5? Good God, how time flies. It really does fly, doesn't it? But, wow. What? One of the Gorosei is there. Is there it? Wow. Wow. I imagine all of them have names related to either planets or Roman gods. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. J. Garcia. See, J is an already cool name. Garcia is a really cool name. J. Garcia, like as your first name and Saturn as your last? That is so sick. We're going on break. we're going to break. Isn't Jay Garcia also a music reference? Let's see. Jay Garcia. Jay, not Jet. Not Jet Garcia. Nothing's pulling up as far as music is concerned. Maybe if I just put Jay Garcia. No, it's not pulling anything. Saint J. Garcia. Saint Saturn. His name, he's Saint Saturn. All these years, we never got the name of one of the Gorosei. Jerry Garcia of Grateful Dead. Yeah, that's one. But Jay Garcia, yeah, that doesn't pull up anything music-wise. But this is the first time we're getting the names of one of the Gorosei. They've just been known as the Five Elders. They've just been known as the Five Elders, and we never found out anything more. Egghead is revealing the names of the Elders. We are in the age of the Elders right now, finding out who they are. Saint J. Garcia Saturn. I can't stop saying that name. That name is cool. That name is really cool. But we need to go back through this real quick. And let me pull this up. One Piece. Dude, this chapter is fire. I understand why we're going on break. Because I believe the last time we had something that was related to the Gorosei, we went on break. One of the biggest moments for the Gorosei was finding out that they left their room and went to the empty throne and then kneeled before Im-sama, and he was revealed to be the true ruler of the world that no one but the Gorosei know about. And I think we went on break for that chapter. Now we're getting the reveal of one of the names of the Five Elders for the first time in One Piece history. We're finally getting one of the Elders' names, which means that we're going to get the rest of them later. And now we're going on a break. Hold on. I gotta bring this whole chapter up right now. Okay, so we need to talk about how Lucci and Stussy, Lucci tried to fight Stussy. Stussy jabbed him with a sea prism stone lipstick, and that kept him from moving too much, and with her lipstick was able to render him unconscious. Jay Garcia, Don Quixote, the Spanish or the Celestial Dragons. It's crazy. But it's great, though. I need to go back to what you all have said. So, we got the short summary, we got the long summary. Though completely caught off guard by Stussy's sudden betrayal, Lucci moves to attack her, but she sidesteps him using Kamiye after image before jamming her lipstick dispenser into his neck to prevent him from transforming, as it was embedded with sea stone. Stussy then bites Lucci's neck, putting him to sleep as well. Zoro and Brook are both left speechless by the surprising turn of events as Stussy contacts Shaka to inform him that she's incapacitated both agents, revealing that she was the ally Dr. Vegapunk reached out to previously. The rest of the Straw Hats are left amazed that Vegapunk was able to sneak a spy of his own into the world government's intelligence branch without them even knowing her true identity, though Shaka reveals he never intended her to join them. Despite having removed the threat, Stussy tells Shaka that her authority is the same as Lucci's, so she cannot override his orders nor stop the Seraphim. Edison, however, tells Stussy to fall back and let him and Lilith handle the Seraphim. Zora and Brook try to stop them too, just as Lilith exits the lab. Just as she's about to issue an order, S-Hawk spots her and he tries to kill her, but Zora protects her by clashing blades with S-Hawk. Edison takes the opportunity to issue the order for the Seraphim to stand down, just as S-Hawk tries to shoot him. Thankfully, he is saved by Sanji, and the Seraphim finally stand down. So all the Seraphim are now on the side of Vegapunk because of Edison's order. I didn't address it when I read through it initially, but Edison popping up, since the Vegapunks have the authority over whoever takes down Sentomaru and who's ever underneath Sentomaru with the authority chips. Edison came in and basically wrested control of the Seraphim from CP9. So that's an additional force against Cypherpole right now. Thankfully, he's saved by Sanji, and the Seraphim finally stand down. Stussy then informs Shaka that she has bound Lucci and Kaku with Sea Stone, and he asks Stussy to join them, which she accepts. However, unbeknownst to any of them, Dr. Vegapunk has completely disappeared, because we have not got back to Bonnie and, de-aged Vegapunk when Bonnie was standing in front of Kuma's memory bubble. Meanwhile, on Sphinx, Whitebeard's hometown, Marco is informed by the people that while he was away, the Marines invaded trying to claim Whitebeard's treasure, with some of the people calling the bunch no different from other pirates. Okay, so this was when Marco was on Wano, during the events of Marco being away to help out with Wano, and Weevil being proclaimed, completely disbanded from the 7 warlords from the Shichibukai. That was when the Marines came in and tried to raid Whitebeard's home in order to steal his treasure, or whatever amount of treasure he had, and Edward Weevil defended them while Marco was in Wano, with some of the people calling the bunch no different from other pirates. The leader of the attack was Marine Captain Rattle, who shows no qualms telling the people of Sphinx that because they are not affiliated with the world government, he will not hesitate to kill all of them in order to claim Whitebeard's treasure. To prove his point, he tries to shoot an old lady who badmouthed him, but thankfully he is sent flying away by an unexpected savior in the form of Edward Weevil. Weevil's phenomenal strength ensured that the invading Marines were forced to retreat, if only to wait for backup to handle him. Marco thanks Weevil for his actions as his mother, the original Miss Buckingham Stussy, now known as Miss Buckin, shows up and tells him that Admiral Ryokugyu was dispatched to aid the Marines, and as a result, Weevil ends up getting captured. She tells him to rescue him and find Whitebeard's inheritance for her, but Marco's tone suggests his doubt to Buckin's claims that Weevil is Whitebeard's son. This causes Buckin to say that the only person who can confirm her words is none other than Dr. Vegapunk himself. Vegapunk, please confirm that Buckin ain't got nothing to do with Whitebeard, because ain't no way Whitebeard's gonna put out something that ugly looking. Ain't no way. Meanwhile, Admiral Kizaru is accompanied by one of the 5 elders, St. J. Garcia Saturn. Kizaru asks him if he has ever met Vegapunk before, and the latter says he has once met him a long time ago, and now he feels what is transpiring is now a shame. Wow. Lucci and Stussy have a short battle, with Stussy successfully biting Lucci, knocking him out. Stussy is revealed to have been an undercover spy for Vegapunk for the last 2 decades, and is confirmed to have also been the one to whom Vegapunk had secretly contacted to help them. Shaka requests that Stussy joins his journey with the Straw Hats, to which she agrees. The Straw Hats are not only taking Vegapunk and all of his satellites, but they're taking a clone of a former member of one of the most powerful pirate crews that existed. They're going to have a former member of the Rocks Pirates on their ship. Let that sink in. Let me look back at what you guys have. Oh, Ozzy. Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see Ozzy with the super chat. Now Dragon has a reason to show up. You have one of the Supreme Terubito on the scene. Well, Supreme Tenryubitu? Would you call him a Supreme? Because I don't think you can classify the 5 elders on the same level as world nobles. I don't think you would call them celestial dragons the same way you look at celestial dragons. They're on a much higher level than them. They just let them do whatever they want and let them think that they're gods, just so that the Gorosei can run things in the world. So I wouldn't call them Tenryubitu. I wouldn't call them celestial dragons, because they're above that. Kizaru versus... Okay, let me see what all you've said. The Seraphim is a little more human than the real deal. Oda knows how to hype so well. Haven't seen any of the anime since Zo, besides Queen Zuma Zuma music. Where are they at right now? Luffy has returned to the roof with Momonosuke, finally, including the moment where he was flying through all of Onigashima in his dragon form with his eyes closed. Luffy has returned to the roof of Onigashima. That's where they're at. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Ready for some more One Piece epicness, and episode 1049 was fire. So much fire that whoever was in charge of doing that episode, I know DJ told me Ishizuka and Ota, who were in charge of the animation. Yeah, they are permanently invited to any cookouts. They are invited to the cookouts. Let's see. We really must adopt Lil Boa, young Yo Kyushu, and how's it going, Kyushu? How's it going, chat? Sorry I'm late. You're good, Looney. Don't even worry about it. So basically, Buckin rode the coattails of Mads. There's always someone in your school project that leeches off the other's hard work. Stussy was that for Mads. Yeah, her title was Mads Freeloader, self-styled scientist. CJ, good to see you as well. Uh-oh, one of the Godosei is about to show up. Just how strong are these guys? We don't know. That's the scary thing. I imagine all the names relating to planets or Roman gods. It would be cool if there was or was a One Piece character based styled on and called El Cid. I expected to get a devil fruit name for Stussy. We don't know. We don't know. Because my thing is, if she has a devil fruit, why would she put the lipstick on her lips? Because it's directly touching her. So maybe there's something more to Stussy that we actually don't know. Since she's a clone, there could be, actual genetic modifications that don't involve devil fruits. Because think about it. If she's got lipstick on and she uses that lipstick and that same lipstick dispenser has embedded sea stone in it, wouldn't that affect her? But it didn't. Because she uses that lipstick a lot. So maybe there's a lot more to this Stussy clone that we don't know. Kizaru versus Zoro and Sanji and Saturn versus Luffy incoming. We still don't know the strength of the Godosei. Great. Now we're going to have these theories. Though one of the Godosei is here now, and they're traveling with Kizaru. Another person we don't know the full limits of his strength yet. So Zoro versus Sanji and Saturn versus Luffy is like, what in the world is Oda doing? I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that Oda literally just brought one of the 5 elders out from Marijois. We have never seen one of the elders. Or maybe Stussy uses 2 lipsticks. Yeah, that would actually be the more common sense answer that I just didn't think of. Because in my head mentally, I just thought like, oh, she only has... See, it shows you just how little I know about women's cosmetic stuff. Oh, she's got one that's embedded with Sea Prism Stone. That must be the only one she uses. We actually keep backups of our makeup, which they do. So it didn't dawn on me that she probably had one she uses for her lips and one she uses for Devil Fruit users. That didn't dawn on me until just now. Sorry, I had a brain fart moment. Did we see Stussy put on her sea stone lipstick, or did she just stab the stick into Rob Lucci's shoulder? See, Cohagen is pretty much just turning what I just said around, because I thought that she was using the same stick for herself, but it would make sense that she would have another one she would use normally and another one she would use combatively. I mean, it makes sense. That didn't click for me. I doubt anything that cut and dry. Don't expect a proper square off or Admiral fight on Egghead. I expect shenanigans. Yeah, I don't expect it either. Who knows if Saturn is even on that level, let alone can fight, and Kizaru has to 1v1 Sanji, so he can't lose yet. Saturn could give us one of the biggest lore dumps we've ever seen. Him being here opens up a lot of possibilities. Extremely. It does. Because think about it. The Godosei know everything. They know everything about the world. The very history of the world, they know, but they don't want anyone else to know. So any information that Saturn speaks, this is the thing. And I've said this over the history of me reacting to One Piece. Every time we see the Godosei, we get some of the biggest information, some of the biggest mysteries solved of One Piece just by them merely being in a chapter. Just by them merely being in a chapter, we learn big things about One Piece. We had the Godosei talking to Shanks. We had the Godosei talking to Im-sama, and we learned that there's actually a true ruler of the world that even the Godosei kneel to. Because beforehand, we just thought that they ruled the world, there was no one above them. But then we find out there's someone above them. Every time the Godosei get introduced into a chapter, something major is about to happen. Something bigger than then like even back then when they were talking about we couldn't get our hands on this devil fruit for 800 years and now it's in the hands of a pirate, and we find out that the gum fruit was renamed from the human fruit model mythical type model Nika, which is basically a god fruit that the Gorosei have been trying to get their hands on for centuries. Every time the Gorosei show up in a chapter, it means we're about to get some, like Neil John Knight. Who was it? Who said that? Karma. Every time the Gorosei show up, we get massive lore that blows our minds every time. For one of the Gorosei to be here right now, expect information. Expect information. And to find out that Saint J. Garcia Saturn knew Vegapunk previously, but he's like, it's a real shame that it had to come to this. And we're going on break. We're about to get some information. Don't just push that thought to the side like the Gorosei have showed up. Yes, that's big, but it's what the Gorosei have to say when they show up that people really have to pay attention to. Like, I like the fact, so when we see Ryokugyu on Wano, he already took Weevil. I would dare say that's probably when it happened. He probably made a stop. He probably made a stop at Sphinx first, and then made his way to Wano. And then, when that happened, he got scared away by Shanks. Because I highly doubt that he left Wano and then took Weevil. I'm pretty sure he probably took Weevil when he probably took Weevil before everything went down in Wano, and then he showed up at the end after having taken Weevil. That's what I feel. Or maybe he took Weevil after. Maybe he took Weevil after. And maybe it was during the celebration that everyone was having on Wano, being free from Orochi and Kaido. Maybe it was during the celebration when Weevil was taken by Ryokugyu. Ryokugyu stocks going up after the Shanks incident. This is the last chapter we get in January. Of course, I'm going to bring this up again when I do my One Piece reflections on Tuesday, because that'll be the end of January, and we'll get to talk about it then. But we're going to talk about this again. But like I said, and I kind of don't want to talk too much because I want to say more things when I do my reflection on Tuesday. But every single time the Gorosei show up or get shown, every time the Gorosei show up, we get massive information. Every time. When the last time we saw them, we saw that they used something to erase Lelouch. How long did it take you to get current on One Piece? What arc did I get current during? I've been following One Piece since, here's the thing, Blade Wrecked. I did not start One Piece at chapter 1. Mind you, I have all the manga because I decided to get every single volume of One Piece so I can read it from the beginning up to where I started doing reactions. I started doing reactions I was following One Piece near like the midway point of Punk Hazard. I didn't have any concept of all the events that happened beforehand, so I had to go back. But I started One Piece in Punk Hazard because back then, when I first started, I want to say, when I was working my first job at Best Buy back in 2011 or possibly 2010. That's when I was reading halfway into One Piece. I didn't start at chapter 1. I just was reading from Punk Hazard, and then I kept up with it afterwards. And then I would talk to my coworkers about One Piece and everything. I didn't start doing reactions on One Piece until Whole Cake Island, chapter 857 or 867 or 876, whichever the chapter called Rook is called. That's when I started doing reactions for One Piece. So it took me a while to Well, I wouldn't say it took me a while to catch up because I was just reading every single chapter for One Piece. But I didn't read the beginning of One Piece until like a massive while ago, just so I can be completely current. But it didn't take me long to catch up to One Piece because I was reading the chapters when they were coming out. Mind you, I was not reading officially from Viz because I had absolutely no concept of Viz, and I was just reading from offhand sites all the time. But I'm official now, and I only read from official sites. I don't read scans early. I read it when they get dropped on Sundays. That's just how I do things. But but it didn't take me long. Because I didn't start One Piece recently. I've been following it for a bunch of years now. So I've just been caught up with him. I'm sure he intentionally was going after Marco. What happened? I was about to say, did my stream stop? Okay, I'm good. I'm sure he intentionally was going after Marco, but Marco was gone, so he settled for Weevil instead. Maybe. Looking great for the future. Looking great for the future of One Piece. These 2 weeks are going to be even more extremely rife with theories. You're right, DJ. You're right, CJ. Good to see Ogata-san. Okay, Lucci stocks are going down. They are. They went from being awakened to just being knocked out by getting hickeys in the neck. That's a joke now. We see a ship here, so maybe after he took Weevil and sent it to prison and flying solo to Wano. Maybe. We don't know the exact time frame of when Ryokugyu ran into Weevil and Marco, or ran into Weevil and then went to Wano, or if he went to Wano and then ran into Weevil. We don't know the exact time frame. You can't tell me that One Piece isn't the best. Demon Slayer was hot for that time period, but One Piece keep dropping banger chapter after banger chapters. Ozzy, you're absolutely right, because One Piece has not slowed down. Can we just acknowledge that? We may be in a bit of a smaller arc, but there's just so much jam-packed into this arc that it's like, it doesn't even feel like the hype we felt from Wano has really gone down, because we learned a lot. So around the Big Mom flashback, that's when you started reading too, or maybe he called for a ship, or someone called for backup, and Ryokugyu responded. Maybe. We don't know, but we got a whole 2 weeks to think about this. So much information about One Piece. And I gotta be honest with you, so much information to process about One Piece. It may seem like a lot in the beginning, but when you think about all the information and all the things we learned, all the hundreds of chapters, literally hundreds of chapters of hundreds of volumes of One Piece, and it's like, there's so much to go back and look back on and think about now. Because all this information that's getting revealed to us, like, just think about this, and this is going to become reality. We're going to reach a point where we know everything about One Piece. And we look back on what we didn't know and then have our eyes opened. Our eyes opened to the mysteries of One Piece finally revealed to us, but revealed in a good way. 2 weeks of One Piece withdrawal. I want my One Piece. 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 That would be me. What is my favorite arc? I have to say, Marineford is a really good arc. I like Dressrosa. I really liked Wano. Marineford, Dressrosa. Ooh, wait a minute. Marineford, Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, and little bit of the Reverie, and then Wano. But if I have to pick like one singular arc, it's kind of difficult because they all had great things. Like the phenomenal Marineford War. We saw the powers of Whitebeard and all the admirals and what they could do. Then you have Dressrosa and Doflamingo learning what his devil fruit is, and then the reveal of Gear 4th Bounce Man. Then you have Whole Cake Island, the reveal of Big Mom, what her power is. Katakuri, the concept of future sight observation hockey. Then we have Wano, where we see Kaido, we see how powerful he is. And then the monumental reveal of Gear 5. the fact that Luffy's fruit is not a paramecia type, but it's a mythical Zoan type, and it's basically the Zoan fruit of a sun god with the power of rubber hose cartoon animation. What's my favorite moment from the final saga so far? Has to be Im-sama Oration Lelouch for me. Literally, the concept of the world of the five elders and Im-sama having something that can basically wipe off an entire nation off the map with absolutely no trace. That's scary because that's just in the world of One Piece, like in the sky somewhere. That's scary. But if I have to pick a favorite moment from the final saga so far, it has to be the reveal of Luffy being Joy Boy. Because we've seen, over the history of One Piece, we've seen Joy Boy's name everywhere. And then we have Zunisha coming in saying, like, I hear the drums of liberation. Joy Boy has arrived. And then it cuts to Luffy, who was rendered comatose by Kaido bringing down his bringer of death, Raime Hake, directly down on him, and Luffy waking up and his whole body changing, clothes becoming white, hair becoming white, constant smile, his heart beating the drums of liberation himself, and Luffy basically just showing us that his power is far stronger than we could have ever known. A power so ridiculous that the world government absolutely had to have it, but since we found out that Zoan fruits had a will of their own, they could never get it. And that one fruit that they wanted above all else was revealed to the world via Morgans. And Luffy now has a devil fruit that the world government hasn't been able to get their hands on for 800 years. I honestly feel like Joy Boy being revealed and it's Luffy has to be one of the biggest moments for me. How many chapters do you think there will be at the end of One Piece? It is incredibly hard to say. We could have 1,200, we could have 1,300, we could even have 1,500. It's hard to say because we're getting very close. Well, I mean, like, I want to say like 27 chapters and we'll reach 1,100. We are 27 chapters away from reaching 1,100 chapters of One Piece. So, I mean, it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's guess how many chapters there are because it really depends. It really depends. You personally wouldn't count Wano to the final saga, but if we did, then Gear 5 would be my favorite. Right, Wano isn't exactly part of the final saga. It really isn't. When Wano ended, Q's favorite moment from the final saga is not from the final saga. Okay, so officially from the final saga, it has to be the reveal of Vegapunk, the smartest man in the world. We've been teased this man over the years. Now, Wano, my favorite moment from Wano was finding out about Sun God Nika's devil fruit. But favorite moment from the final saga thus far, because it's not over yet, thus far is the reveal of Vegapunk. The man who knows everything, the smartest man in the world, a man so smart that the world government sees him as, he knows too much. Kill him. What if the One Piece is discovered by the Straw Hats at the 30th anniversary in July of 2027? I don't know. I will. It's anyone's guess. We just gotta wait on Oda. I've already gone far longer than I needed to. I still need to do My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. But in between now and My Hero, the family bought some pizza, and I'm going to eat some of that. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my reaction to One Piece Chapter 1073, if you will. And it leaves me with even more questions. But at the same time, it just shows you that One Piece is not losing any steam, even though it's been going on for well over 20 years. It's crazy how it just keeps going. Relatively soon, we'll hear and see how well the sound design and execution of Gear 5 in the anime. They did so great with Gear 4, most especially with the brassy bounce sound. Now they're going to have to dip into like old school Hanna-Barbera Hanna-Barbera Looney Tunes level stuff. I know Hanna-Barbera was not in charge of Looney Tunes, but I just mean like Looney Tunes level, they're going to have to dip into the feel of cartoony when it comes to the sound designs for Gear 5. If Ishitani doesn't direct the Gear 5 episode, we as One Piece fans should riot. There is absolutely no way we can't have her be the one to direct Gear 5. She has to be the one to direct Gear 5. She has to be. She has to be the one that gives us Gear 5 animated. Because we're getting closer to it. We're getting closer to it. But I could continue talking about One Piece. I really do need to save all my feelings about One Piece for when we do our One Piece reflections on Tuesday. So this is where I'm going to call it a session for right now. I'll see you guys all on Tuesday when we can dedicate so much time to talking about One Piece during my reflection stream for all the chapters of January. So we'll just wait for that. And I'll hold everything I really want to get out about One Piece then. But for right now, thank you, everyone, for showing up. And thank you, Ozzy, for the super chat. Thank you, Neil Johnson, for being a member for 10 months. Thank you, Ravi, for being a member for 5 months. Thank you, everyone who showed up, whether you're new here or you got suggested to me, because apparently my name is getting passed around for stuff concerning what I do here on my channel. My name is actually getting passed around, and that's kind of a shock to me, that people are actually, putting my name out there. And I don't even know these people, but they're putting my name out here, and I just want to say thank you for giving me the time of day so that I could be your entertainer. But to everyone else here, whether you're new or you've been here for a hot minute, all I can say to everyone at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples, pizza, then my hero, then jujutsu.